Streamed live on Twitch at Lord Brandon 10.
Welcome back, YouTube. We are here with another Destiny Rising video, and today we have a complete 100% guide on how to complete the new Crota's End raid here in Destiny Rising. A couple things before we get into it here. If you are needing any help whatsoever with completing Crota's End, whether it be on contest or on normal, please check the pinned comment down below from me with the link to our Discord server, so that way you get notified when I go live, or to link up with other amazing guardians in our community that would be more than willing to help you go through and complete this. Also check the description of this video as well for my Twitch channel at Lord Brandon 10, which is where you can find me live doing these helps on Twitch for the entire Destiny Rising community. And feel free to drop me a follow and turn on notifications so you know when I go live. One more thing I want to point out is I want to thank everyone who came out for our contest 17-hour stream. We got World 7th and we did community helps right after. It was such a great and amazing experience. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this guide. Alright, so when we get started, the first thing you're going to be introduced with is a cutscene with Xur essentially warping you guys to the moon to go ahead and begin the raid. Now, if you guys have played Destiny 2 and are familiar with the chalice mechanic, this is very similar to the chalice mechanic in Destiny 2. Essentially how it's going to work is one of the members will press E or tap on it or whatever the case is on the chalice. Once you pick up that chalice, you are going to essentially have a bar that is going to pop up on your screen with the time that you have until your chalice is filled. So for example, if you look right here, one of the members of my fire team, Tangibility, picked up the chalice. You'll know that he has the chalice because there is a green bar or like a little green circle that is filling up above his head. That is how you know that particular guardian has the chalice. So whenever you get ready to pick it up, you'll wait for it to turn red. Once it turns red, that means you are able to pick it up, or they can just tell you verbally, hey, go ahead and pick it up. So what we did here is we actually went into the order that's in the top right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's just what we associated ourselves with for picking up the chalice. As you guys can see, he's getting close to being ready for pickup. Once he is ready for pickup, I'll go ahead and take that buff from him. As I do right here, I'll go ahead and press E. I take the buff from him, and now I have the chalice. Now, if you look right here in the middle of your screen, you're going to see light charged. That is meaning that you are building and charging up your chalice. So once that is full, 100%, it'll turn red, saying something like Welling Light or something like that. That is when it is available from someone else to take it in your fire team. Like I said, I really suggest for the chalice mechanic all throughout this raid that you just keep it simple. You just go by the numbers that is associated with your light bearers in the top right of your screen. Just assign numbers and just pick it up in that order. Makes things real easy. But once someone takes the chalice buff from you, you're going to get what they call the Enlighten buff. So if you look right here at the top of my screen, I have Enlighten, and you'll use the Enlighten to charge the plate. And from there, you just sit on the plate until it's 100% activated. And then once it's activated, you are essentially done with the first part of this encounter. And then you're just going to make your way up all the way to the end of the bridge, and you're going to drop down a little hole from the bridge, and that is going to take you down into the Abyss encounter. Alright, so once you're in the Abyss encounter, it's time to go ahead and pick up the chalice again, and this is essentially the same exact map from Destiny 1. You're going to want to pick up the chalice, and now a couple things to point out here. We have nodes that have to be banked on. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is 5 total of the nodes that you have to bank. And you can easily find them by following the path of the totems or the lamps. So if you look right here, these are the lamps right here. Just follow the lamps. There's always going to be line of sight if you just keep following the path. And what's essentially going to happen, at least for what we did here on our run, is you want to have at least one dedicated person with the enlightenment buff. I'll explain why here in just a moment. So for example, your number 1 unit, which is me in this case, is going to go ahead and pick up that chalice first. He'll charge it to 100%. As you see here, the number 2 takes it. The number 2 will then deposit. If you guys look what happened, the number 2 will then deposit the chalice into the first dunking station on the right there, and then your number 3 will go ahead and then pick up that chalice. The reason why you want to go ahead and dunk on that first node is because remember, you have to do 5 of them total. So once you dunk on it, that counts as 1. Your number 3 will go ahead and pick it up. So from there, you'll just start progressing the encounter. As I already told you guys, when we did this here, the number 1 will always stay enlightened, and I'll explain why in just a moment. So 2 through 6 will always alternate, and you're just going to go ahead and make your way through the encounter until you get to the next dunking station here. Now, a couple things to keep in mind is that you only have a minute to go ahead and do this entire thing, so you are going to have to refresh the time. So the best way to refresh the time is people who are doing the chalice, when they get the enlightenment buff, they're going to hold E on the actual totem, and what that's going to do is it's going to go ahead and increase your time and refresh it back to 1 minute. So once again, if you look, once I get to 100%, someone takes the chalice, and that's going to allow me to press E onto the totem. That allows me to enlighten the totem, and as you can see, it did refresh our timer. Another way you can also refresh your timer as well is whenever you do place the chalice into the nodes, that does refresh your 1 minute timer as well. But that's pretty much the gist of the base mechanic, is you're just sitting there going through 2 through 6, making sure you guys are getting, passing the chalice. You're getting the enlightenment buff when someone takes it from you at 100%, and you just enlighten the totems. That's pretty much it for the base mechanic. Now, there is one final tidbit that I want to tell you guys that is going to come up when you get to your second deposit station for the chalice. All right, so when you get to your second deposit station for the chalice, you're going to notice that it is going to get locked by the hive, whatever that is called. It's going to get locked, and what's going to end up happening is there is going to be a knight that spawns in that is shielded. It's called the Chalice Defender. The person who has enlightenment, which is going to be your number 1 player or whoever you designate on your team to hold the enlightenment, is going to see which one of these runes that you can see out there in the background. There's 3 of them starting off initially. Which one of them is glowing more than the others? You can simply ping, that person can ping which one it is. The rest of the fire team members can shoot whatever one of the 3 hive ruins it is here, to go ahead and shoot it, which is going to drop the Chalice Defender shields where you can damage him to release the chalice. And it's really important that you do it quickly, because the faster you kill him, the faster you can pick it back up before the wipe timer expires. So if you look at this example here, my team is getting to the 3rd node. I'm pinging which one is glowing for them to hit, so that way they can hit it. Once they hit it, it drops the shields on the Chalice Defender. They're going to go ahead and start beaming this guy, killing him. As soon as we kill him, it's going to release the chalice. And that person who is next up in rotation will go ahead and pick up that chalice, and you'll start running the rest of the encounter. Now, a couple things to keep in mind here is whenever you are running the chalice here, the more dunks that you do, the more runes you're going to have to hit. So for example, when we get to, let's say, number 4, for the dunk position, there's going to be 2 that I have to call out. So there's one on the left there, and then there's one on the right that I ping. So those both have to be shot out to drop his shield. So keep that in mind when you get to like the 4th one. There's going to be like 2 of them that you have to call out, and then when you get to the 3rd one, there is going to be 3 that you have to call out. And just like this, you guys can see there's 3. I'm pinging it for my team, so that way they know exactly what to shoot. Because I have the enlightenment buff, I'm able to ping it for them. But after that, that's pretty much it. You nuke the last guy as quick as you can. Once you nuke him, that last guy will pick up chalice. Once you pick up that chalice, you're just going to go ahead and run straight to the final plate, which is what I'm showing you guys now. You'll quickly run to the very final plate. Once you get to that final plate, You're gonna have someone who has Enlighten again, just charge the plate, excuse me, and just charge it up to 100%. At this point, once someone does use the Enlightenment buff, the other person can just go ahead and put the chalice right there in the white cup that you guys can see right here. So charge up, have someone charge it to 100, their chalice. Once it's full, they'll put it in that white cup, or they'll take it off of that whoever is, you know, full. That person who now has Enlightenment will charge the plate. The other person puts the chalice into the little dunking station. There's no point in rotating it. There's apparently you're not able to accelerate it in this game. And then that's pretty much the first encounter. You're just going to clear some ads. You're going to have 2 sets or 2 rapid fires that will spawn in. At least I believe this is going to spawn in on normal mode. If they don't, then they don't. But at least on contest, they did spawn in for us. So we just quickly nuke those as quick as possible. And then after you do the 2 rapid fires, there are going to be 2 spreads that spawn in as well. So character comps, you definitely want to have like a Maru or Ikora or Ningfei or people like Estella for sure, just to make sure you have those Shinkas covered. But that's pretty much it. You'll kill the last set of Shinkas, and then once you kill them, you'll make your way across the new fully formed bridge, and that completes the first encounter for Crota's End. So let's go ahead and explain the second encounter for you guys. All right, so for second encounter, once again, you're going to start the encounter by having one of your players go ahead and pick up the chalice first. Keep in mind the player who picks up chalice first is going to be the player who is going to cross last across the bridge with the chalice. So first person who picks up will cross the bridge once everyone buffs or gets the alignment buff on the bottom side. So just keep that in mind. But when the first person picks it up, he's just going to charge it to 100%. You're ideally going to want to have 2 people on each side. So you're going to want to have 2 left, 2 middle, and 2 right. And so once I get 100% with the chalice here in middle, while everyone else is just ad clearing, this guy is going to take it from me. Someone who is in middle with you is going to take the buff from you, and you are going to activate the bridge or enlighten the bridge. The person who took it from you is then charging their chalice now, so that way they can get enlightened. But what they're going to do now is they're going to leave your side and they're going to go to one of the other sides, as you can see here on screen, and they're going to stand there so that way they can pass the buff to the people on that side, so that way they can go and get buffed up. So when the middle guy goes over there, he'll buff, in this example, the 2 people to my right. Once he buffs the 2 people to the right, once that last guy on right has the chalice, that guy on right will then rotate, as you guys are seeing now on the screen. That guy will then rotate to the left, while the guy who was originally in middle stays on that side, to then go to the left side so he can buff the last 2 remaining players on the team or that needs the enlightenment buff. Now, when he gets buffed, when those 2 people get buffed, the guy who is getting the last enlightenment will make his way back to middle for you, and then you will then pick up the chalice buff and get ready to cross the bridge. But that is just the enlightenment portion and raising the bridge portion. Now is going to be time to actually cross the bridge with a sword. So let's explain that mechanic. So if you guys notice, there is going to be a sword bearer that is going to spawn that's walking down the steps now. If you look above his head, I'll pause it, you can notice he has a rune above his head. That's really important that you guys memorize what that rune is because once you kill him, that rune is going to disappear. So whoever you designate on your team, it doesn't matter who, just designate someone besides the chalice holder to go ahead and pick up first sword. Once you pick up first sword, you're then going to cross the bridge. You and the chalice, the sword bearer and the chalice will then cross the bridge. Once you cross the bridge, there are going to be quite a few ads, so make sure you have like someone that's able to ad clear really quick, so that way the sword bearer does not die to ads. But you will go and clear out all the ads. The sword bearer will then go and come up. He is then killing the sword bearer with just the heavy attacks by pressing Q. It only takes a few shots. Once he kills that sword bearer, you are then going to look for the rooms on the Alder or in this little area that we're in, and you're going to find the same matching symbol that was there, that was above the sword bearer's head before you killed him. Once you find that matching Once you find that matching rune, you're just going to go ahead and simply deposit it like Laser is doing right now. And that is it. The next person that is on the other side will then go ahead and get ready to go ahead and pick up the next sword. And he'll go ahead and pick up the next sword and he'll cross over. But there is a really, really big caveat, or something that is introduced here now. There are going to be 2 sword bearers who are going to spawn on the other side now. So when this happens, there are going to be 2 different symbols. The person who is on the other side, who is looking at the sword bearers, he is going to call out both symbols. The 2 people who are already over on the other side have to see what symbol it is that they do have out of the 2 that was called out, and that's the one they have to call out, the one that they see on the other side. So for example, let's say in this image right here, let's just say that we see X, or let's say the other people see X, and the other side they see okay, let me back up. Let's say on the other side, the 2 sword bearers, they're seeing one X rune, and they're seeing one, let's say, Sonic the Hedgehog rune. Okay, I don't see a Sonic the Hedgehog rune on this side anywhere over here, but I do see an X rune. So I'm going to say, hey, you want to take the sword that's the X rune. And so he'll go ahead and proceed to kill that sword bearer, and then he'll cross the bridge and bank the sword over here on that rune. Now, failure to do so, if you do pick up the wrong sword, the second you try to cross the bridge, it is going to immediately kill you, which is why it is important to make sure you pick up the right sword and that your team is communicating on who has what, or what buffs are matching and what buffs aren't matching for the runes, so that way you get the correct swords across. And that's essentially it. For the swords, that is literally the mechanic on how to get the entire sword, or all of the swords, up here to this side of the arena. Of course, whenever you do get 3 people up here on this side of the map, the 3 of you guys will hold this side of the arena, while the other people on the other side start getting off their plates. So as you can see, I get on the plate. We give the order to the other team like, hey, you guys are good, you guys can go ahead and get off your plates, so that way they can start focusing on the swords. Of course, we'll start doing the callouts as always to make sure to see which one is the real sword and which one is the fake sword. And they'll cross up one at a time. And I would say by the time you get the 4th person up, this is when you're going to want to start rotating the chalice back around up here for the top team. The reason you're going to want to pass the chalice around, as you can see up here on the top team, once everyone crosses over, like I said, I recommend you start doing it when the 4th person comes up. But as you can see, we're charging the chalice now. And the reason being is because once you kill the two spread shinkas that spawn in when the last guy gets across and kills his sword bearer, once those 2 spread shinkas are dead, it is going to be final stand, which is essentially where all the sword bearers are going to come in. So as you see, we're still passing chalice around. The 2 spreads are working their way in right now. We quickly nuke those guys as we are managing the chalice as well, once everyone's across. Once they get nuked, the sword bearers will spawn in, as you guys can see right here. By this time, everyone, if not 4 of the fire team members, should have the ability to go ahead and pick up a sword with the enlightenment buff, and then you just start going to town and clearing these sword bearers. And that is the end of the 2nd encounter here for Crota's Inn. Let's go ahead and move to the 3rd encounter. Excuse me. Let's go ahead and move to the 3rd encounter for this raid here in Crota's Inn. All right, so for the 3rd encounter, essentially to make this easy, have 3, you're gonna have 2 teams initially starting. You're gonna have 2 groups of 3. One go right out of the hallway and then one left out of the hallway, essentially starting off, so that way you have 2 groups of 3. So when you start, you're gonna go in and you're gonna see 2 knights here in the middle. You just need to kill one of the knights, so just ping whatever one that you and your fire team are going to focus, and you're going to beam down that one knight. And so once you beam him down, that is going to spawn in the impact shinkas. At least that's what it did here for the contest version. Once you do that, once you kill one of the knights, You're gonna then, once again, like I said, get into your 2 groups of 3, go 3 left, 3 right, and then you're gonna go ahead and take care of the Impact Shinka. Killing the Impact Shinka is then going to spawn in another Hive Rune Knight. You're gonna go ahead and kill him. Once you kill him, he is going to drop that buff that is above his head on the ground. You're gonna, one of the people who is on that side is going either right or left, because it's gonna be a symbol on left and also a symbol on right. So when both teams kill that first Hive Rune, one person from each side picks up that first one immediately. They'll make their way inside. As you notice, there is a second Hive Rune Knight that you guys are going to quickly beam that guy down as quick as possible. Once you beam him down, another person from each side will pick up that symbol. And once you do that, once you kill that second knight, you're then going to kill the Shrieker that is right here in this room. Now, time to explain the rune portion. Okay, so this is really important that you guys get this right. So in this example that I'm showing you guys here on screen, I picked up the rune that symbolizes A. My partner picked up the one that symbolizes the one that symbols the X, that symbolizes the X. So what has to happen is once all 4 people who have the runes, excuse me, once all 4 people who have the runes are ready, you guys will call out ready. And you guys have to just, they don't have to be shot in sequential order, but they all have to be shot roughly within like 5 seconds of each other, all at the same time. So, for example, I have A, I will shoot the A1 here, my partner will shoot the X1 here. Now, here's something you must keep in mind. If I see A here and there is an X here, for the purpose of this demonstration, because that's what we have on my side, that's not going to work. I can't shoot the A on bottom left and my partner shoot the X on top left. They have to be on 2 separate parts of the wall. So for that to happen, I would actually have to shoot the one that's on top right while my partner shot the, or excuse me, while my partner shot the butterfly that's on the or the X or whatever you want to call it on the top left. I think we're actually calling this one butterfly. Like I said, you don't want to have both on, you don't want to shoot both on the same wall. They do have to be on separate parts of the wall. I'll shoot A on the right, he'll shoot butterfly on the left, and it's vice versa for the other team who is on the other side as well when they're doing their symbols. So once everyone is ready, you'll do the 3, 2, 1 count, and then everyone will shoot their symbol at the same time, which is then going to open the middle arena here for you. Now, it is very, very important that you kill this Shield Singer as quick as you can. In the runs that we did, if you didn't kill her, I believe within like that 8-second timer there that's on your screen, she actually wiped us. I'm not sure if that's like a contest only thing or not. But as soon as we got in here, we just killed her immediately. That's actually going to free the buff, the Chalice in middle. So that way you guys can start picking up Chalice. Now, couple things. This is where you're going to want to start having, this is where you're going to get into phase 2 of the mechanics. This is where you're going to assign, before the encounter even starts, you're going to have already assigned 3 people on swords and 3 people on runes. So once you have those designations done, whoever is doing the first, whoever is doing swords on your team will then pick up Chalice. So ideally how your Chalice rotation is going to work as you are killing the stuff here on the outside is you're going to start with, like I said, your sword. Then your sword will transfer it to the second sword, and then your third will then transfer it to the third sword. And then once third sword is done, he'll transfer it to one of the people who are doing runes. And then once your third sword is done, like I said, he'll transfer it to one of the people who are doing runes. The person who's doing the runes will just take the Chalice back inside because you only need 3 people doing swords. and he'll place the chalice back inside, so that way no one has to worry about chalice, while the 3 people who have their enlightenments can now pick up swords. Now, in the process of you transferring the chalices, you're also, when you're on the outside, you're going to want to focus immediately the 2, as you can see on screen, the 2 precision shinkas that spawn in. There's going to be one on the right side. We always went for the one on right first. Once the one on right is dead, then you're going to move to the one on left, or vice versa, whatever your team wants to do. And then once those 2 precision shinkas are done, mind you, the sword bearers and everyone are doing the chalice rotation in the process of killing this stuff. Once these 2 precision shinkas are dead, there is going to be more hive runes that spawn in. This is where the other 3 people who are not doing swords, and everyone's going to be on your team is going to, you all are going to be on this top platform. So when you leave that middle room, everyone comes top platform, kill the 2 precision shinkas. Of course, your chalices are rotating and everything like that. And then you guys are just kind of rotating around the top balcony area here. And you're just going to be killing all 3 of the runes that spawn in. There's one that spawns in on left, one that spawns in the middle of the ground out there in middle, and then one on the right. While you guys are also killing the runes, you're also killing the sword bearers that spawn right here in middle, as you're seeing on screen. All 3 will spawn there periodically, not all at once. So you'll just kill them whenever. So whenever you don't see a rune. So for example, in this demonstration, we killed the left one, as you guys saw on screen. We don't see another rune, so we're just going to drop a sword bearer, and we're just going to let the sword sit on the ground until we stack 3 of the swords on the ground, which gives us time to get the other runes destroyed for us to go ahead and pick up. And as you can see, another rune spawned in middle, so we're hitting that rune now. You can also assign people rune pickups, so like whatever rune you guys destroy first, you'll have a guy that's guaranteed to pick up 1, a guy that's guaranteed to pick up 2nd, and then of course a guy that's guaranteed to pick up 3rd. So with the 2nd guy destroyed, as you guys can see, now we have the last and final rune guy that we have to destroy. We're going to quickly try to beam him as best as we can. Once we beam him, 3rd guy will then go pick up his rune, and then you want to make sure that you have at least all of your swords down before you start any of the mechanics. So this is the part where, once again, you're juggling the chalice and everything like that, and you're just going to be focusing the sword bearers now, making sure you get at least 3 swords. That's important. I cannot stress it enough. You need 3 swords and 3 rune holders. So once you did all that right, you will now have all 3 swords that are on the ground, and everyone will have, or all of the sword people will have their enlightenments, and the 3 people will have their runes. So the easiest way to know, if you want like a quick recap of where you are in the account, or if you look at the top of your screen, you'll see that these are the symbols that the rune holders picked up. And you'll also notice that above your fire team members, above their head, the little white cross symbol symbolizes that they are enlightened. That will show in any of the encounters here in this raid, indicating that they are enlightened. So once you have all 3 swords and all 3 rune holders, this is where you're going to pair. You would have already had this configuration set before the raid started. You're going to want to have one person, you're going to want to have 1 sword bearer paired with 1 rune holder. So once again, 1 sword bearer paired with 1 rune holder. What the rune holders are going to do at this moment in time, once everything is dead, is they're going to be looking around the room. If you look all around the room, there's these runes with these blocked off doors that are protected by runes. And what's happening is your rune holders, at this point when everything is dead, they're looking for one of those rooms that have at least one of the matching runes that they are holding. Once they find that room, they'll say, hey partner, I'm over here on this one, get over here. That team will call out that they're ready. The other 2 teams will get to their runes. They will call out that they're ready. Once you hear all 3 readies, then your rune holder will shoot the matching symbol. If you look right here, once all 3 are ready, they will call out shoot. once they shoot, that is going to drop the barricade, as you see here, for the sword bearers to quickly go in and just heavy attack those wizards to start the DPS phase. Now, a couple things that I want to point out is sometimes while doing this is, let's say in this example, we have butterfly, 3 dots, and X. Sometimes you may get 2 butterflies with an X on it. So you may get 2 butterflies, right? Let's say you'll get a butterfly here on this room, but also a butterfly here on this room. But let's say X is on this room as well, but X is nowhere else to be found on the entire map. So what will end up having to happen is, if you have a duplicate and X is on this one, the team that was originally here is going to have to move to the secondary butterfly, so that way the X can successfully send their guy in to this room. So duplicate rooms are a thing. You just have to adjust and rotate accordingly. And just to explain it again, if you have a butterfly here, but the X is the only one on the only X on the map is on this one, the butterfly team will have to move because they have a duplicate one here. They'll do this room, butterfly team will do this room, while X team does this room because that's the only X. And then of course, all 3 readies, you'll call it out, you'll go in, you'll kill the wizard, which will then start your DPS phase. For DPS phase, we kept it easy. We used Stella, Tan, Umiko, Hellhest, Jaren, Estella, if I didn't already say that, and you can cook up some really good damage. We did manage to get about half health, but as you notice, as you're doing DPS phase, there is going to be a message that is going to pop up that says Yut summons shades to protect her. When you see that message pop up, that means the shades are getting ready to spawn in on her left and her right. You want to kill those immediately, as you see right now on the screen, because failure to do so just is going to essentially not allow you to damage the boss. You will hit immunes. So that is why it's important to go for those shades as quick as possible to maximize on your DPS time. But if you do that right, I believe on normal, you can possibly one-phase it, or you definitely can one-phase it. And if you don't one-phase it, then you just essentially repeat all of the mechanics starting up to the point where you grab the chalice again, and that's pretty much it for the 3rd encounter. And if you do everything right, you will go ahead and do a kill on Yut. So that's pretty much it, guys. Like I said, the only thing I can recommend here is making sure that you guys have your teams pre-plotted. So you already know who your partners are going to be. You already know who the sword bearers are going to be, who the rune holders are going to be, what side you guys are coming out of the door, so you know what precision Shinka you are taking with your team, who's picking up what runes to even start the encounter. Just make sure you're communicating that and assigning the roles, and you'll be just fine for the Yut encounter here on Crota's End on Destiny Rising. So with that, we're going to go ahead and move into the final encounter here in Crota's End, and that is the man himself, Crota. So let's get into the explanation. So to start the encounter, someone just presses E on the totem. That will do some cool animation effects starting off. Now, one thing that you're going to want to have pre-plotted is you're definitely going to want to have 2 people, preferably solar. I don't know if they need to be solar, at least contest it with solar for the sword bearer to go inside and get sword. I don't know if normal mode requires solar or not. If it doesn't, then anyone who can just kill a sword bearer quickly, or if not, just run solar units. But you'll have someone who is guaranteed that is going to pick up the chalice first as soon as the encounter starts. That person who is picking up chalice first is going to charge it to 100%. So that way they get their enlightened buff. Now, just like Destiny 2, the only way you can bank is by having the specified pools of light that are designated for swapping buffs. So you're not able to swap it just anywhere. They have to be in this glowy white pool of dust, or whatever you want to call it, pool of light, or whatever it's called. The swaps have to be within that little pool right there, as you guys can see on screen. And it usually spawns from the first, one of the first 2 will always spawn from the Shinka on the left or the right. the impact Shinka. So once he is dead, someone will go ahead and take it off of him. They'll swap. The person who's going in for the sword will then get enlightened. They'll go into the portal. Once they are in the portal, they are going to go ahead and run all the way back across the ascended plane. Once they run all the way back, they're going to be met with the sword bearer. Once they are here with the sword bearer, they're going to quickly just nuke this guy, pop whatever supers or whatever the case is, and kill this guy as quick as possible. Once you kill him, you are going to then receive the sword. While you are once you get the sword, you are essentially waiting on the outside team. So we're going to pause here and explain the outside team positions, so that way the people on the outside know how to do their jobs, so that way it progresses the encounter. So for the people who are on the outside, when they come out of the starting room, they're gonna once again focus the impact Shinka, because that is where the first pull is going to be. So you'll quickly beam that guy down as quick as possible. Of course, maybe having someone bait Crota, and then the two people will eventually do their swaps. Once they do their swaps, then you're just playing the encounter like normal. You're gonna see these void guys in the middle, which I'm getting ready to show you. They did their first swap. You're gonna see these void guys in the middle. These are the guys who will drop the pulls on the bottom floor. You'll kill those guys to open up the next transfer point. In the process of doing that, you're gonna see two of the in the process of doing the mechanics, there are going to be two spread Shinkas who spawn right here in the front, or in the front of the arena. Your spread unit is going to quickly beam those guys down as quick as possible. Doing that is going to unlock the lamp that is right behind the spread Shinka for anyone who has enlightened to go ahead and slam on that lamp. So as you notice, we're beaming the Shinka, we're beaming them, we're trying to, and as you can see right here, once you kill them, all of the lamps are unlocked. Now the people who are running the mechanic with the chalice, because remember, you guys are going to be rotating chalice here. Once two of the people get enlightened, those two people who are then enlightened are going to take the they're going to take their enlightenment to the middle of the arena, where you'll see where it says cement enlightenment right here on these little lamps, and they're going to bank on both of those two lamps. As you can see right here, they're banking. The second they bank, you're going to see a symbol appear in middle. When that symbol appears in middle, you are then going to call that out to your team. So as you can see, the last person on my team, or the person who just got an enlightenment, one already did the right. This guy's doing the left. He is now banking it. There's a symbol that appears in middle. One of you, doesn't matter who, uses their middle mouse button to rotate between whatever symbol it could be, or just verbally call it out. You'll select it. That is telling the person on the inside with the sword what portal to take when they want to exit. So as you can see from the sword bearer's perspective, you can see the symbol didn't pop up, or it popped up there. They had verbally called it, and that is the one we went through. Going through the wrong portal will wipe you. Now, as soon as you come out of the portal, the sword bearer comes in the portal. This is a all hands on deck situation. Everyone then regroups up on Crota, and everyone is going, the sword bearer will then run actually right to Crota, and once he runs on Crota, the light bearer is going to get into like a sword on sword contact engagement while everyone else is shooting Crota's sword. Doing this is going to stun Crota. Your light bearer is then going to go in and do the combos light, light, heavy, light, light, heavy, and that will start the damage phase. So as you can see from the person who is shooting the sword, you'll shoot his sword just like that, and then once you shoot it and you stun him, sword bearer will then do light, light, heavy, light, light, heavy, and that will then start DPS phase. You'll pop your ults, supers, whatever you have, and you'll just start going nuts on Crota. If you are lucky enough you will get a 1 phase. If you're not lucky enough, you will have to rinse and repeat these mechanics. It is mindful to know that if you do not 1 phase it, you are going to want to have someone who does have the enlightenment buff ready to shoot the oversoul if you are not 1 phasing it. So please keep that in mind. So whenever you are passing your buffs and your chalice out here in the rotation, while you guys are killing the spread shinkas and things like that, you want to make sure that you also give your enlightenment to, or the chalice to, another person as so they can charge up to be the guaranteed oversoul person. We found that IZANGI'S with the honed edge ×4 does 1-shot the oversoul from what we did on contest, but I'm sure once contest is over, anything will pretty much work. So keep that in mind. But if you guys happen to end up doing everything right, and if you didn't 1 phase it and you're running everything back again, rinse and repeat, or whatever the case is, once you do enough damage, you are then going to push Crota to the final stand. And we're going to explain how that works. So when you push Crota to final stand, he is going to essentially teleport. He is going to dip out. You want to keep hitting him until he does show immune. Once he is immune past final stand, he's teleporting, he's gone. Everyone has to book it to the portal. Everyone has to book it. Once you're in the portal, everyone's in there. You don't even need an enlightenment buff, just everyone can cross. You have to run as quick as you can, because Crota is then going to spawn in these ads who are going to start refilling his health, as you can see. So you want to quickly get there as quick as possible, so that way he does not regen as too much health. And you're going to quickly knock out all of those thralls. Once you knock all of them out, Crota is going to have a short immune period right after. The second his immune period is over, you are then going to start giving him everything you've got. Ults, supers, abilities, heavy, whatever you've got, you're just going to start laying into him. And if you can do it, you will beat him. This was one of our scuff runs. But if you do it right, just like this, you can pull off the unthinkable and kill the man, the myth, the legend, Crota. Guys, that is the complete Crota's End guide. Sorry that I was using the VOD. I just figured it'd be easier for me just to kind of show you guys exactly what we did in our runs. Since I didn't have any recordings, you guys could see exactly all the different points that allow me to pause the video too, so that way I can explain things to you. So sorry if it wasn't the best guide out there on the internet. At least it's something, and hopefully it helps you guys get your contest completions done. Guys, as always, if you're needing help with this, please check the pinned comments down in the comments below and join our Discord server. We're going to be doing nothing but helps, I'm pretty sure, for like the next 3 weeks on this raid. If you want to get notified when I go live, check the description. Guys, go in there, check the description, follow my Twitch channel, turn on notifications so you know when I go live, because we do these helps. We do these helps. We were up for 17 hours doing helps on day 1, and then I also got a guide out on the same day of the raid. So we're serious, we're helping people. And if you want to show love and support to me, commenting, liking, even subscribing to my YouTube channel here means the world. It helps push the algorithm, and it really means a great deal to me, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciated it. World's 7th was truly amazing. So guys, that is it. Have a good day, and peace out, Girl Scouts.